What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Patient X Holistic Healing. Right, we back. Feel me? Y'all don't know because I got the post schedule, but I ain't made a video in like 2 weeks, bro. You know, I had to finish up school. I was doing final study and all of that, so I had to take a little break. But I got y'all the videos, so you know what I'm saying. I schedule ahead of time. I schedule a few weeks ahead of time so y'all can get the videos. But we back. You know, we back. Today's video, we're gonna talk about the solar plexus chakra and how you can align that, right? And some myths regarding the solar plexus as well, right? So without further ado, if you've never seen me before, my name is Professor X. I'll be a healing coach and spiritual teacher today, right? Let's get right into it. So with the solar plexus chakra, the first thing that comes to mind for me is confidence, right? Now, that's one word, right? It goes deeper than that, but on the surface level, you want to associate the solar plexus with confidence, right? First, we had the root chakra video right here. Then we had the sacral chakra video right here. I'm going to keep making more and more videos about these as I go along. And I'm going to remake the videos, giving different explanations for things. But now we're on the solar plexus, right? In both of those other videos, I gave clear-cut examples from my life that helped me balance out those chakras, right? So in this video, I'm going to give y'all experiences that I went through that really refined my solar plexus chakra, that really changed my life in the way that I manifest. Right now, I know I come on here, I seem like I'm confident, I seem like I'm popping, blah, 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 I'm cool. But truth be told, I wasn't always like that. You know what I'm saying? I had bad social anxiety, especially after I first woke up spiritually. You know, I was very closed off from the world. I was very much in hermit mode and my confidence was low key low, right? I realized how small I was and you know, my ego was kind of shattered in a sense. So I had to rebuild my ego, right? I had a few ego deaths since I woken up, probably like 3 or 4 strong ones that really helped me rebuild my character. And each time, you know, my solar plexus would just get completely shattered, man. I'm talking in crumbled pieces. I had to put the pieces back together in a more indestructible fashion. Matter of fact, the most recent ego death I went through, my solar plexus was not affected as much as it normally is. And that's because I've just built up such a strong confidence level. You know, I know who I am, I know what I do, and I know what I want, right? All of that is important when it comes to self-actualizing yourself and building up a good sacral chakra. Now, some things I did over the years that really helped me align my sacral chakra with my truth and my spirit was getting out of my comfort zone, right? I had to really get out of my comfort zone, especially after I woke up spiritually. It was just so hard for me to feel a true connection with people. You know, I saw myself as so different than other people. I couldn't connect with them on a reasonable level, you know? And I'm talking like all types of social interactions, just, you know, feeling awkward and weird for no reason. Yeah, I remember like I would be at the cash register at the grocery store and the lady's talking about like, oh, cash your card. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, what the fuck is this lady talking about? Cash your card? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm fucking human, bro. Like I need some fucking money. And I know that's a funny example, but at that time I had a really overactive third eye chakra. And I was very prone to disassociating, right? But you got to understand, I was only disassociating because I was not confident. I didn't feel like I belonged here. I didn't feel like my presence mattered in a sense. So I would just dream up my own world. I'll be in La La Land all day. Woo, 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 wah, wah, wah. You know what I'm saying? Not really worried about shit. But it's like, you can't live that way, you know, especially as a spiritual person. You can't sustain a life here like that. So I had to come out of that. A few things that helped me do that was talking to people, you feel me? Not even like friends, you know. I haven't really had, you know, a bunch of friends, at least in person. I have online friends now, but in person, I haven't had too many friends. But, you know, talking to people on the street, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what's up, sir? What's up, man? Like I make sure I talk to a few people every day. If it's just on some like regular interaction shit, maybe I'm in the elevator with somebody. Like I always make sure to talk to people, right? Now still stay reserved if you feel like you need to. Like I'm definitely more reserved than I could be. I could really be out here moving and shaking, but I am really reserved. So I make sure I'm watching who I'm talking to, right? I make sure to engage in conversation that's going to either keep me on like a base level or lift me up. You know what I'm saying? I never engage with anybody who I know or feel is going to bring me down, right? That's a good solar plexus chakra practice. Another thing that I did on a more grounded level, right? I'm gonna get to the more spiritual things you could do as well, but the grounded thing that I did was pick up more skills. You know, the more equipped we are to deal with the physical world, the more confident we are when dealing with physical things. That's just That's just basics. So I picked up a bunch of skills, right? I actually picked up different skills for different chakras that I was trying to master, right? You know, I started singing for my throat chakra, and I started talking more, communicating more. You know, I remember I used to be like giving myself lectures in the mirror, the same way I'm doing for y'all right now. I used to do this for myself in the mirror, just to like get my throat chakra active and get confident as a speaker. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm confident as a speaker, but you know, definitely singing and making music and all of these things, performing, like all these things really helped me gain confidence in myself, right? So definitely picking up new skills, that's going to really take you there. I'm not gonna lie, like out of all of these, that's probably the best one other than the more spiritual ones that I'm going to say. But picking up skills does take dedication. And, you know, if you're the type to not stay dedicated and then you fall off, that's just going to worsen your confidence. So you want to make sure that you're being dedicated, you know, being grounded. That's going to help you stay consistent, you know. Another thing that I started doing, and this wasn't really like purposeful, it was more so like a product, a side effect of me just naturally becoming more confident. I started looking people in the eyes, right? Now, when I talk to people, I try to look them in the eyes, or at least look at their face. You know, sometimes looking in the eyes to certain people, it feels weird. Certain people, you don't want to look in their soul like that, especially if you're a seer like me. Like, I can see people. So, you know, looking in people's eyes can definitely be a more intense one. But if you can get comfortable doing that, your solar plexus chakra gets lit up, bro. I'm telling y'all, like, it's something about yourself that feels seen when you look at other people. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable being seen like that. And that's why, you know, a lot of people can't make eye contact, or they can't hold eye contact. But, you know, you're different. You feel me? I want to challenge you to really start looking people in their eyes when you speak to them. Even looking people in the eyes, like when you don't speak to them, passing by. Like, that's one of the things I actually do. You know, before I started looking people in the eyes when I talk to them, looking at people in the eyes that I see passing by, that was like the segue for me. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was working my last job, I would always look at, you know, the customers and shit in their eyes. I would nod at them and whatever, you know, and some people, they would look at me funny and shit, you know, but who cares? Like I said, some people don't want to be seen, and that's okay. But moving on to the next thing that you could do, I'm gonna start getting more to the spiritual things that you could do. The easiest thing that you could do spiritually is like affirmations. You know, I remember I used to do the affirmations and the subliminals and stuff. I don't really do it like that anymore, because like I'm confident, but like I don't need to listen to some shit in my ear all day. But you know, the affirmations, make sure you're listening to like I do affirmations. That's where, you know, confidence and sacral energy really thrives, is when you're doing stuff, you know, action. I made a TikTok video about this. I'll link it right here. But basically what I explained in the video was that confidence is not an emotion, you know, confidence is an action. You don't feel confident, you know, maybe that feeling that you have when you feel like you're equipped to do something, you liken that to confidence, but I wouldn't call that confidence. That's just the lack of anxiety. You know what I'm saying? People call the lack of anxiety confidence, but it's like the bar should not be anxiety. You feel me? The bar is baseline, not having any anxiety, you know, moving like you can do anything. People call that confidence, but really that's a regular emotion that you should feel. When it comes to confidence, confidence is not really an emotion like that. Confidence is an action. For an example, like I can do a bunch of things. I can move all day, every day, walk with my chest out and everything. I actually used to do this, and this would help me become confident. I could do all of those things and still be scared and still have the anxiety on the inside, but I come off as confident. You see, confidence is an action. You feel me? Same thing with bravery. You know, you don't feel brave. Bravery is not an emotion. Bravery is an action. You know what I'm saying? Acting even though you're scared or insecure. You know, that's true confidence. Truth be told, you're not always going to feel like, you know, you're safe. You're not always going to feel like you know everything. You feel me? That's where true confidence comes from, though. True confidence comes from knowledge and faith. You know, having knowledge that you can do something or that you are a certain thing. You know, the belief that you are equipped due to having done certain things that built you up. But truth be told, it's like you could skip that. You could go straight to I am God. You feel me? That's my thing. I love God. You know what I'm saying? I love likening myself to the Most High, because that's what I am. I'm the Most High in human form. So it's like, that's where my confidence comes from. It comes from God. Since I moved that way, I always feel like I'm confident, you know, even when I'm walking into a room where I feel the energy is funny, or maybe it's, you know, a lot of scrutiny. It's a lot of people looking at me. I might feel it on the inside, but I don't like internalize it. I just be like, damn, it feel funny in here, but I still move with my chest out and move confident, you know? But like I said, confidence physically manifests as action. So one of the biggest things that you can do is learn. You feel me? That's one of the biggest things you could do to increase your confidence is learn. Once you know how to do things and know what you are, know what this is, know what that is, it's like you feel equipped for every environment. So you're not scared or anxious about anything. You know, you're always equipped to handle your environment, bro. One of my biggest things right now, especially since I'm in school, is like, you know, test taking. You know, I used to be an anxious test taker. Now I'm like the chillest test taker ever. I literally, bro, I'm telling y'all, I walked into my biology final literally like 3 days ago. I did not study for that shit. And this is like a hard class. Like, I'm good at biology, but the way she formulates our test, the way my professor formulates the test, it just be some like very specific questions that you would have to have practical, actual knowledge of how shit work, and not just like, oh, what is this? What is that? Like, no, it'd be some real deal questions as if you were in the field as a biologist. So it's like, you have to really study for these tests, right? I was doing a bunch of shit and I was like, fuck it. Either I'm studying for this or I'm studying for that. And I studied for that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't study for my biology final. And I walked in that shit, literally no anxiety, bro. I was just like, shit, I'm gonna just give my best effort, like give what I have. And, you know, if I do good, then I do good. If I don't do good, then shit, fuck it. And nigga, I got like a B. I got an 84 on that. And that's the true effect of confidence. You feel me? That's what it's like having an aligned solar plexus chakra. You could feel like you are not equipped or not prepared, but you're still feeling like you're able to meet a certain challenge head on. Since I have so much faith in myself and my journey, faith in the Most High, it's like I kind of moved like everything is just gonna work out. I'm not gonna lie. And although that can be a bad mentality to have if you're not putting in work, if you are putting in work, then you're good, bro. You move like that. Move like everything is just gonna work out. If you're putting in the work, then shit is gonna work out. You put in the work. But, you know, a lot of people don't put in the work and they feel like that and they be entitled. Don't be like that. That's not it. But it's important to feel like you are owed something in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I put in so much work, bro. It's like, I'm just going to get the benefits either way, you know? So like, if I miss 1 day, 2 days, I can miss a whole week and I still don't feel bad about myself. That's a big part of having a balance in the aligned solar plexus chakra as well. You know, how do you view yourself? When you fumble, what do you think about yourself, bro? Like, that's something that I used to struggle with, you know, coming up in my journey. If I didn't hold myself accountable, or if I didn't do certain things that I said I was going to do, I would feel bad about myself. I would feel like I'm lesser than, but I really cut that shit out. Like this year, 2025, bro, I have not felt that way. Cause it's like, I've gotten to the point in my journey where it's like, I literally make so much mistakes, bro. I don't care no more. Like you shouldn't care that you fumbled. You shouldn't care that much that, you know, something didn't work out how you thought it would, or you didn't apply enough pressure. Definitely be accountable and, you know, show up for yourself, but do it in a loving manner. Don't do it in a lack mentality like, oh, you know, I need to do this, or, you know, I'm not this, or I'm not that. You know, I'm right here if I don't do this. Like, no, you're not right here, bro. You was always up here. It's just you didn't show up for the one time, and that's okay, bro. As long as you get back on your shit, you're good. Even if you didn't get back on your shit, eventually you will get back on your shit, and it will all make sense when you get back on your shit. Literally, I promise you. Me, I just put in my work in a certain way. I structure my life in a certain way where it's like, even when I'm not truly grinding hard, I'm still putting in some type of work. I'm still putting in some type of efforts here and there. And I just believe in the long term. That's my thing. I look at the long term in life. 20 years, me fumbling today is not going to matter, bro. And that's where I see it. You know, my spirit guides and my people in my life, they kind of look at me funny for that, because like maybe sometimes they feel like I should be a little harder on myself, or feel like I should be more accountable after I have shortcomings. But it's like, I literally cannot feel that way about myself. I can't feel bad about myself. And if I do, maybe it's like for a few hours and I'll go right back to feeling good, because I know that I'm doing the right things overall. People will literally do one bad thing and it's like they liken themselves to the worst. Like, just because you killed one person don't mean you a murderer. And that's a crazy example, I'm not gonna lie, but it's the truth. You feel me? Once you make the choice to never do that again and never go back, it's like, that doesn't matter. And that's the type of mentality that comes with the balanced solar plexus chakra. You know, you're very future focused. It's like, I do, you know what I'm saying? You're in the action and looking forward. You feel me? From the present moment. It's not like, oh, I did this or I did that. No, it's I do. Feel me? I will. I do something different than I did before. Therefore, I am this. And the I am aspect is not even contingent on the I do. Like I said earlier, just because you do something don't mean that you are a certain thing. You should always have a certain thing that you believe that you are, and have that plastered above you, and then always feel like you are that no matter what. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard. I can't 100% always feel like I am something, but I always 100% know that I am something. Whatever I say that I am, I know for a fact that I am that at all times, you know? So you can't really judge the emotions, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about the solar plexus, we're past the etheric, we're past the sacral. Sacral is emotions. Solar plexus is more so how these emotions manifest into the physical and kind of rising up to the intellect and the mind. Intellectually, I know that I am this, and that's what informs my actions. And once you really start applying pressure to your solar plexus area, it's like every little thing will literally boost your confidence, bro. Like literally everything I do, I'm always getting validated. My sacral or my solar plexus is always being validated by my actions, because it's like I'm in alignment. You feel me? This is why it's also important to make sure you're doing the right things, staying accountable. You know what I'm saying? You basically become a self-sustaining situation. You know, it's a feedback loop. But that's pretty much it for the solar plexus video, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully y'all learned something. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you have anything to add to the conversation. Leave it down below, right? Make sure you hype up the video too if you get the option to. You know, boost me in the algorithm. All of that. That's how we grow the community and get more people in our family, right? That being said, my name is Professor X. I want to thank y'all for watching Patient X Holistic Healing, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next video. Much love and blessings.